What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we'll be taking a peek over here at the Bitcoin price chart, and we're going to take a look at the XRP price chart briefly today as well. Poke around the altcoin market. I hope you guys like the intro. Decided to have a little fun today. It's been quite a while since I've played that thing. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep things light, tight, and bright as we head into the holiday time period. Last year, things were nothing but chaos heading into the holiday time period. This year, we're going to keep it nice and cool. But obviously, today, we're having a green day in the cryptocurrency market. You can look over there on the right side of the screen. Every single thing is green. The one thing I do notice going on the right side of the screen is at the top of the list is Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin's one of the bigger movers of the day, that would indicate that the Bitcoin dominance is rising. In yesterday's video, we were talking about what it looked like as we were sitting on support back in February and March before the Bitcoin dominance finally fell through and the altcoins were able to swallow some of that market cap. We overlaid that on yesterday, and you can see there how it's just kind of taking another little bounce right off of that level. And yesterday we showed how long that could play out if it did something similar to that. Now, timing's impossible to predict. I'm not sitting here saying it will take that long, but just to set expectations to see if it did something exactly like what we've seen before. It doesn't necessarily mean it just breaks through today just because it got back down to it, but that it could spend some time in here before it eventually does. But either way, a sight for sore eyes for many, I'm sure, to see the Bitcoin price up a little bit higher. It's the highest price we've seen in the last 5 days, so it's a little bit of a relief, but of course still just sitting in here and ranging in here. Heading over to the altcoin market, in particular the XRP price chart, taking a peek of what's going on in here. So this whole thing has been going on since April at this point, right? And what have we seen occur in here? We have seen a crash, a retrace, and are we in reaccumulation right now? The big questions right now are going to be, one, is this time period in here similar to what this was back in here? As we can see, there was the break below the support, a couple of attempts to get back through it, unable to, gradually works its way back down. What do you call it? Double tap sideways capitulation, right? So what are we at right now? We're underneath the broken support, hitting it for a second time right now. And well, is it something similar to that right now, heading back down into the lows, maybe closing gaps down in here? Very difficult to say. When I look at what this structure looks like, there are things that are different in here that are different in here. And in particular, this is looking way more like Wyckoff accumulation to me with the automatic rallies that we see in here. This is precisely what Wyckoff accumulation looks like. The thing I'm really waiting for to see to say, hey, do I still think it's Wyckoff accumulation, is if we can take out that top right in there. But what we would usually see is this, and then what do I always talk about, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's typically how a Wyckoff accumulation will end, is that you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, rolling back up to wave 4 within wave 5, and then 7, and then that's the end of the accumulation, and then the price is free to go back up. So right now, I'm not seeing anything in the XRP price chart that's going to indicate that this is our next move right in here. But that further accumulation seems to be the most likely. Of course, the hard thing about that for a lot of people, and I understand that, is that this is the most volatile market in the world. And we're just talking about a big giant trading range right in here. But what does that mean if it goes back and revisits the lows? A 25% downward move. Most people can't handle that type of stuff, right? This rise right in here in itself was 175%. This fall right in here was negative 73%. This fall right in here is negative 51%. This rise right in here is plus 55%. Anything in the stock market, those would all be huge moves, but this is the most volatile market in the world. And what we're seeing is the volatility have to consolidate and dry up. Hence, we call it consolidation. And consolidation is really just a reduction in volatility. And one of the things I always talk about is looking to other places in the market. So if we were looking for something like one particular asset, say XRP, and we're looking for it to break out, I would be looking for signs elsewhere in the market that seems like it's something the market wants to do. Right now, I don't see that, right? What I see Bitcoin's dominance rising currently, although not by much, just a little bit. Still sitting down here on support. But the main thing is I look to the right side of the screen as well, and I see that there's nothing else that is like giving a clue saying, hey, time to pop out of here and time to go. Like we don't see like Stellar Lumens zooming out of there, or Cardano or Zcash or something else that's like pushing really high saying, hey, market's ready to break out. So it tells me this is all just accumulation still happening in here. And as TXMC Trades over there on Twitter likes to call it, a crab market, as we're now at 17 days of just waddling sideways. And I know, man, at 17 days, it can start to get repetitive. It can start to sound like the same old thing over and over again. We get bored. We want to hear something different. We want to see the market do something. Because after time periods like this, where the price, falls and then it goes flat for a long time, the market just starts to feel a lot of pain. And I've talked about this a lot since the beginning of my YouTube channel, is that the market knows how to shake you out. The market knows how to cause max pain and knows how to cause significant damage without actually moving price. And that's by making time pass by very, very slowly, especially when we get a price move downward like that. And then the price doesn't do anything for this long of a period of time. And it reminds me a lot of, when we were down in here, right? This was almost 90 days or something. Price moves straight down and then just causes max pain for 90 days. And so while I have no control on the market to make it be able to do anything after it's gone down 30% and then gone sideways for 17 days, I can do the things that I always do, and that's to try to find the opportunity still within the market. And a lot of times, pointing to the opportunities that I believe there are within the market, people will perceive that as me being negative towards other aspects of the market. But what have we witnessed so far in 2021? It's been that of the top 50 assets from back in February, 90% of them have done nothing. So the market is not as easy as we all want to believe that it is, that Bitcoin goes up, the whole market goes up. It's just not true. There's a big complicated factor to this market of rotation that happens within it. And the fact that we've seen the Bitcoin market cap reach out to a 4.236 extension at this point makes you say to yourself, all right, well, where's the opportunity within the market, right? So a lot of people will hope that, that 4.236 extension will get broken through. It's going to go crazy, Bitcoin, to $1 bajillion and everything like that. But that's not something I can lean on, right? I have to lean on, fibs have always been my thing. It's in the intro. It's in the intro of my channel. So if the top of Bitcoin is in, what's the thing that we're waiting on? We're waiting to see what has happened historically throughout the market, and that the remainder of the altcoins take off. And so we watch the Bitcoin dominance, we watch the Ethereum dominance, because Ethereum has done the exact same thing, reached out to its 4.236 extension, and we just wait. And it's hard to wait. I know that. This market has grown tremendously in 2021. There's a lot of new participants in here. They haven't had the experiences of what a bear market feels like, or had the experiences of what you have to wait when you have to wait for a really long time. I do have the experience of having to wait for a very long time. I've been in here since mid to early 2017. I came in late spring of 2017, and that's 4.5 years of waiting. I know what it's like. And I know what it's like to wait even when prices fall by like 95%, to watch Ethereum fall from $1,400 all the way down to 80. I know what it's like to wait through that. And it is difficult. It is tough. We do get bored. And it is 17 days. With Ethereum, I sat there and waited over 1,000 days. I know what that feels like. 1,000 days. So if you find yourself just kind of, not feeling it, man, right now after 17 days, I understand. Nobody likes it after it goes down 30% and then it goes sideways. But this is just part of the game. And so in times like this, the sentiment really does shift. A lot of people become pessimistic and are worried and saying this time's different. Things aren't going to behave the way they've always behaved. Either they believe that Bitcoin's not going to get stopped out here by the 4.236 extension and that it's going to explode much higher, or they think that the altcoins aren't going to take off this time. And that's just part of normal market sentiment. And, I can sit there and gamble on things being different this time. But what I try to show on the channel is how things have happened before. The way things have happened before is that 4.236 extensions have a tendency to be a rejection level for a bull market and be the end of them. That's just normal. But one other thing that happens in Bitcoin's history is that when these rejections come in and retracements come in, there's a huge altcoin run that has happened historically. And we know that the majority of the market didn't run. Looking back to February, 90% of stuff hasn't run. Can't guarantee anything will happen in this market, but I can point to how the market has behaved. We can either gamble on the fact that things are somehow going to be different this time and that Bitcoin's going to explode out of here and the altcoins are going to do nothing, or pick whatever we want to say that this time is different. But the only way I can reasonably make decisions for myself is to say, based on things that I've seen before. That's the only thing I can do. And based on things that I've seen before, is that rejections happen at 4.236 extensions, they end bull runs, and they send things into bear markets. But what I've also seen happen before is that in the retracements, like for XRP, into Bitcoin's retracement, the price fired up 1,600%. Bitcoin went on its glorious run to the upside, XRP stayed flat and pathetic the entire time it did. Bitcoin topped, and into the retracement, XRP exploded. We also saw in 2017, the Ethereum plus the Bitcoin dominance had two major falls down. And we know that in this time period right now, we've had a very similar fall, still missing that secondary fall. For that, I can lean on that and say, hey, we've seen that before. And so in a time like this where Bitcoin falls by 30%, goes sideways for 17 days, people become frustrated, bored, and angry and impatient, it gives everybody the opportunity to research, everybody the opportunity to see what do they think is going to happen next in the market. I present my thesis, I present my case for what I think is going to happen, but everybody has the opportunity to research and find their own data points to see what they think is going to happen. For me, it says the most exciting time in the market is coming, the moment that I've been waiting for the whole time, 4.5 years for. But what it also says to me is that I still have to be patient. And while that can be disappointing and that can be frustrating because as human beings, we look for instant gratification, we look for instant rewards. But as Warren Buffett says, markets are a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. That's not a joke. And so while the majority of participants in the market missed this for Bitcoin and bought it all up in here for Bitcoin, my focus is on other aspects of the market to get that moment. And what you have to understand too, being here in 2020 and 2019, and I am dead serious, in this time frame, people did not think that could happen. It was not until it did happen that everybody bought it thinking it would do it again. But in this whole time period, the most opportune time to accumulate Bitcoin, people did not believe it would happen. And what did it require? It required an unbelievable amount of patience in here. Over a year of sitting down here in these prices of complete boredom and terror that it's just never going to happen. And then it eventually did. And so while the market wants more from Bitcoin, I look to the other aspects of the market that are similar to what Bitcoin was like before it went. And this is where my interest is. And then I have to say to myself, is there any reasonable chance anything like that could happen with the market conditions that we currently have? Well, the Bitcoin plus Ethereum dominance says there is, and Bitcoin hitting a 4.236 says that it is. Because in 2017, it was this moment where it all happened for XRP and for a lot of the altcoins. But the thing that the market is telling us is that it's going to require patience. And if there's one thing I know about this market, that word patience is worse than any word, any type of FUD you could spread to say patience. That's what nobody wants to hear. But that is where we're at. No matter where we look or what we look at, all of it keeps telling us over and over again, it's just going to be a waiting game at this point. There's no strong move happening anywhere in the market, right? We looked at XRP doing like Wyckoff accumulation underneath the support levels. We look at Bitcoin 17 days of sideways stock. We look at the dominance, similar scenarios of where the dominance fell. It took time to work out the support. All of it's just telling us we have to be patient. And so the point I'm getting at is like, I know, I read all the comments, man. That's crazy. I approve every single comment on my YouTube channel because there's so many scammers out there that you guys see it. There's all the Telegram stuff, WhatsApp stuff. I have to make sure none of that stuff gets through on my comments because I protect you guys. And a lot of you guys don't know that. But when I go through comments, I get a really good idea of what sentiment is like. And, a lot of people don't make it through the comments to get banned, especially over this last time period because it's been so negative. But the thing that, people don't want to hear is, we're stuck sideways, same story, same thing over and over again. But this is how we get through these time periods, right? And I know it sometimes does sound repetitive, but sometimes that's what we all need to hear. Sometimes we all need to hear that there is some type of hope, there is some type of optimism that's out there. Sometimes we need a reassurance, sometimes we need a daily pickup. And that's because markets are not easy. The tough times are the strong points of my YouTube channel. Not here to blow hopium up your backside. I'm here to show you the data, and I understand how emotional it is to be in this market because it's the most volatile market in the world. And when we go through these time periods of 17 days of ranging for Bitcoin, altcoin market's still sitting at lows, it gets tough. But the thing that we can all lie on together is that I'm always here. I come in here every single week. Look at how many views the videos get. It's not a small amount. I'm grateful. This channel is huge. I can't believe it. Never could have imagined it 2 years ago. But the reality is, it's a lot of people, and we're all in this together. So while we may feel the pain or we may feel a certain way, just know that you're not alone. there are thousands of people who feel the exact same way. And I know that when we get stuck in these time periods, 17 days of sideways price action after a big negative price action event, we all have a little bit of pain that we're carrying around. And as I say in all of my videos, if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. And sometimes that may be the same messaging that has to get delivered for a week when the prices are stuck sideways. I'm never going to come on here and just give you a pick me up or a little bit of reassurance if there's nothing to be reassured about. But if there's optimistic things in the market to look for, hey, I'm going to try to point them out. And sometimes as time goes on, it gets harder and harder to sit through those moments. And we just need to be reminded of what positive things are out there currently. And as a lot of you guys know, I've been sober for over 8 years. And, those 8 years have happened one day at a time, stacking one day on top of another day on top of another day until it's accumulated thousands of days. And those thousands of days equal hundreds of weeks, which equal years. But it took one day at a time. And in these types of moments, that's just what it's got to be. It's got to be one day at a time to get through this type of moment. And like I showed with Ethereum, 1,000 days. That took one day at a time, stacked on top of hundreds of days at a time to get to 1,000. But many times we all just need to be reminded of what's out there. And so I can't control the market. I can't make it break from this range. I can't make it break up. I can't make it break down, but I can point to the broader perspective of the market. And that's going to be what's going on over there with the Bitcoin and the Ethereum dominance. It's going to be with those 4.236 extensions. It's going to be based on what we've seen happen historically in the cryptocurrency market. That the rotation comes at the end of Bitcoin bull runs. It's what we've seen historically. It's a thing I'm going to be optimistic for. And it's a thing I'm going to keep pounding on the desk about, regardless of if we have to be stuck in the range for another 30 days. Because while we are all entrapped in our own world, and you're watching this on a phone, you're watching this on a computer, you're watching this on a TV, you're out there on a walk, you're at your computer desk at work, you're laying in bed watching this video, you're probably sitting there thinking, I'm the only one in the world who feels the way I feel right now. But you can look at the view count of this video to see that there are thousands of other people who feel the exact same way that you do. And for that, we'll get through this moment together. But for now, we just have to be patient. But we can keep pointing to the positive things in the market. And for me, those positive things are to see what has happened at the end of Bitcoin bull runs historically, what's going on with that Bitcoin and Ethereum dominance, and where are the opportunities still within the market. And for me, I see it over here on this Bitcoin and Ethereum dominance chart. And I will keep reminding myself every day, no matter how many days it takes, that we have seen this before. So on days like this, I like to remind this isn't my first rodeo. We've been through time periods like this many times. Sometimes it gets repetitive when we get stuck in tight ranges like that for a long time, especially after periods of downward price action, that it just gets tough to get through these time periods. But you know what? We just got to keep reminding ourselves of what is the broader perspective of the market. And for me, the broader perspective is optimistic. So as I wrap this thing up, a little bit of housework here real quick. Tomorrow, John Deaton, the attorney for the XRP holders, will be on the live stream of On the Chain tomorrow, in which there will be an Ask Me Anything for John Deaton. As you guys are probably familiar, he recently went onto Patrick Bet-David's podcast and explained what's been going on with the SEC and Ripple and XRP and the predicament it's all in. He's been dubbed a superstar of the XRP army. I would agree. He's fantastic. He will be on there tomorrow, and I will also be on there briefly to get to ask one question to John Deaton. So that'll be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And for people who understand UTC time, that's 1 o'clock UTC. Like I've mentioned, this will be a shorter week for me as it is Christmas week coming up here. Christmas is on the weekend. I'm having family come in from out of town this week. Will be a shorter week for me this week. I'll be doing my normal video tomorrow, and then tomorrow night I'll be going over there to On the Chain. But then that'll wrap up the week heading into Christmas. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. I'll catch you at the live stream over there on the Chain. And otherwise, I'm going to wrap this one up. So I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you're looking for something to do, you can check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. It's a course that I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the previous altcoin market cycles, tying them all together. I talk about my exit plans in here, And I teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. I talk a lot about mathematics and percentages and why those are so important to me. I recently added the Ethereum Part 4 final update in here and the Blockchain Backer exit plan Part 4 progress update with the most recent market update down there on November 30th. And you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.